We're finally here, sharing the results with you. It's the final episode of the Mega Smash Poll Ultimate Results. Thank you for watching every episode in this series so far. It's been a long journey for us. And if you haven't done this, then I take my thanks back. And you can have it again when you go back and watch all the previous episodes. Go on, I can wait. Back? Good. So in this final episode, we're going to look at the future of the Super Smash Bros. Series, or specifically, what you all want to see from a future Super Smash Bros. Game. The last video focused entirely on the characters you wanted, but Super Smash Bros. Is more than just its characters, so let's take a look at everything else we could see from a future Super Smash Bros. Title. Starting with, well, when we'll see it. We wanted to know how long you all thought it would take for the next Super Smash Bros. Game to drop, and the results were pretty close, for two of the options anyway. 45.73% of people expected to see a new Super Smash Bros. Game within the next 3 to 5 years, while 43.01% think it will take 6 to 9 years instead. Only 3.08% said 10 years or more, and the few dreamers out there expect a new Super Smash Bros. Game within the next 2 years. It's good to be so positive. However, interestingly, 6.65% of respondents think this is the end. Super Smash Bros. Is done, and we will never get another game in the series. Ultimate means ultimate, and it can't get any better than this, so Nintendo won't even try. That could be the case, and some people might even want that to happen, as long as Ultimate keeps getting ported to new systems, that is, which was our next question. We asked if you would all be okay with Nintendo pulling a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and having the next game simply be an enhanced port of Smash Ultimate. All the content currently available with all the DLC included, and then maybe a few more characters and stages, some gameplay balances and tweaks. Little things, but mostly the same game. 21.23% of players did not want this, and wanted something completely new, while 79.17% said they did want to see this on the Switch's successor. They don't want to see this roster gone. And that ties quite nicely into our next question. If Nintendo were to make a new game, not a port, but a new game, how do we all expect the roster to look? Not specifically, but will characters get cut, and if so, how many? The majority of fans said they expected 75% of the current roster to remain. So with a current roster of 89 characters, that would mean 22 characters would be cut, for a total of 66 to 67 veterans. 29.22% expected more, with 50% of the roster being gone, which would bring it down to roughly 44 to 45 veterans. There were even some fans who thought that no one would be cut, even for a new game. Big dreamers here, I like it. That just leaves 19.74% of players left, and they put their vote into the next game being a reboot of sorts. We don't know if Director Sakurai will come back, although the majority desire is that he should return as director. But if Ultimate really was his last game in this franchise, then it might make sense for a new director to not even attempt to compete, and reboot the whole series. It looks like some are expecting that to happen. But what should a reboot be focusing on? Not on modes, we'll get to that, I mean in terms of legacy content versus new content. Because the video game industry keeps going forward, new IPs and games are released and older ones are just no longer in the public eye anymore. It makes sense that Super Smash Bros., the biggest gaming exclusive crossover, should stay up to date with the times. But it's also a guarantee that if they ignore their past, then some fans will be upset. Plus, it's hard to ignore older titles when they shaped the industry in major ways. So we asked what you all wanted to see in this regard, and the overwhelming results were to have a good mix. The majority, 52.98%, did say that Nintendo should focus their efforts on newer games and series, but they should have a little of the older legacy content in as well. However, 42.46% said the complete opposite. Nintendo should prioritize the great classics and only have some of the new stuff included, specifically what is really relevant at the time. Only a very tiny percent of players wanted just new or just legacy content. But alright, let's end our mini-series off by looking at what modes people want to see in a future Super Smash Bros. Game. For this question, we let players answer as many choices as they wanted, yet shockingly not a single option got 100%. Who are you 16.07% who don't want to see local versus return? For this question, we listed every single mode that had been in the Super Smash Bros. Series, as well as asked for new ideas for modes, and here are some of the results. There are too many to list them all, so go visit our website for the complete write-up of the data on this episode. The most popular mode fans wanted to see return is Classic Mode, and we actually had an additional question for this. Which Classic Mode? Most people went for a return of Ultimate's Classic Mode, while several people also wanted to see something entirely new. The next most popular option was Melee's Classic Mode, mainly for the mini-games, closely followed by Brawl and then Smash 3DS. It seems Ultimate's Classic Mode really did shine for players. The next most popular mode was Training Mode, followed by Local Versus and then Boss Rush, a mode that isn't actually in Ultimate, but many fans wish was. Break the Targets is another popular choice for a returning mode, with 82.84% of players wanting to see it come back, followed by Online Versus and then Home Run Contest, the most popular of the Stadium minigames. Smash Run is up next. It seems many players enjoyed this Smash 3DS exclusive mode, and this is followed by a traditional All-Star mode. 25.84% of folks wanted to see the Ultimate version return instead, but it seems the popular opinion is to have the older variant. In a similar vein, 63.44% of folks want event matches back, whereas only 44.94% want to see Spirit Battles return. There's clearly some folk who want both in the game, but it seems traditional events are much more popular. Overall, every mode was loved by someone, and they want to see it return. Even Street Smash from Smash 3DS has its fans. Not sure how they would do this, but people would like to see them try. But what about new modes for a new Super Smash Bros. Game? We asked you all to share your thoughts and pulled out some of our favourites. Back in episode 5, a lot of people criticised Ultimate's Classic Mode for every pathway being fixed, and so needs some kind of random option. Some users recommended an arcade mode to fix this void, similar to Classic Mode but all random battles, with the higher difficulties removing items and focusing more on competitive rule sets. A similar suggestion we saw was a survival mode, where players compete in 1v1 matches and then eventually 1v2 and so on to see how far they can get. A lot of people wanted to see some kind of story mode or adventure mode return in the new game. Not what World of Light did, but something more platforming focused. The reasons for this are all different. Some just want to see a good story with fun interactions between the cast, others just want some good platforming action, and we got quite a few suggestions for a Great Cave Offensive type of adventure mode. Reminiscent of the Great Maze from Brawl, but expanded. More interactions between characters is a big request we've seen, and this can be done in several ways. Some have suggested a picture mode or free camera mode so that players can take their own pics of the day, just like Sakurai has been doing and sharing on his socials. Customization is a big desire as well. Many want to see a more robust Mii Maker along the lines of Miitopia, while others want the ability to customize the alternative colours every character has. And then there is stuff like the return of custom moves, the ability to make your own custom spirit battles and share them, and just more control over stage hazards. Rather than turning them all on or all off, let us pick and choose per stage. Some fans asked for more mechanical options to fights, things that might fundamentally change how matchups are done, similar to team mode. One idea is tag team mode, turning every fighter into Pokemon Trainer, where you can swap between 3 characters throughout the battle. Another idea is to use the assist trophies as Marvel vs Capcom style assists, pressing a button to summon them in for an attack or effect. Then there are ideas for new game types. Some fans want to see coin battle return, but others would like modes similar to Capture the Flag or King of the Hill, where to win the player needs to hold on to a certain item or keep others out of their zone for the longest time possible. There were also a lot of requests for some kind of sports parody mode, either Smash Basketball or Smash Soccer, just fun, non-combat centric modes. And the last mode we want to highlight in this video, just because it is right up my alley, is a museum mode, highlighting gaming history and the games represented. Kind of like a mix between the Masterpieces mode of Brawl with the trophy descriptions of prior games and even the spirits of Ultimate. Having a Wikipedia for everything Nintendo and gaming to really show that Super Smash Bros. Is a celebration of this industry. And that does it. The Mega Smash Poll Ultimate results have all been released. We tried to cover as much as possible here, but we couldn't cover literally everything. But all the responses have been neatened up and archived on our website for auto-reference. There won't be another one of these for a long while. There isn't much point until the next game in the series releases, if it ever does of course. But that doesn't mean this data will go untouched from here on out. We have a fun idea for a stream that will be happening soon, details will be on our social media accounts, where we will discuss and design what we think a future roster for Super Smash Bros. Will look like, taking all this data into account. We might even do 2 of these, one using your suggestions exclusively, and another with a mix of this and our own suggestions, so look forward to that. A big thank you to every one of you who took part in the Mega Smash Poll Ultimate, and everyone who stuck with us throughout this entire mini-series, all 8 episodes. There isn't a video this time on waiting for you because there's no other episode in this series, but we will let you know more about content that we'll be making with this data as and when the plans sort of fall into place for it. We have plenty more Super Smash Bros. Related content still coming, as well as other informative videos and reviews and etc. So if you want to see any of this and you haven't subscribed yet, I would recommend you do so. That way you'll never forget to return to the source.